Good morning. Welcome to Simply Remarkable. Happy Feel Good Friday. Are you ready to find secrets hidden in plain sight? I am. Let's go. Greetings to our live audience joining us today from LinkedIn, X, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, we look forward to this weekly conversation so that you can get to meet and know our featured speaker personally, just as we do. You can join in the conversation through our chat line and make sure you ask us all the questions you ever wanted to know. Now, our featured speaker today is Traci Brown. She's the one you call on if you have these problems. Fraud losses are adding up, or you know your team could be selling more, or your meetings and conferences are boring. Traci is one of the top body language experts in the world and focused on how to spot lies hidden in plain sight that are costing big losses of time, money, and energy. Now, she's a high energy person, and her engaging keynote speaking as a sales intelligence trainer, and you've seen her all over media analyzing the latest events going on in the world. So welcome, Traci. We're glad to have you here today. I know you travel a lot. Where are you coming to us from today?
Today I'm at home, Sue, Boulder, Colorado. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks so much for coming on and getting up early to be here with us because we're on the East Coast. So we appreciate that. And this time goes by so quickly. I wish we can't engage audiences any longer time, but we just give them what they need to today. So let's get started. Now, Tracy, what initially drew you to the field of body language and lie detection?
Oh gosh, it goes back a long time with body language. That's how I learned to win bike races. I was a bike racer, and I had to figure out how to keep up and understanding what people were about to do, that they were broadcasting, that they didn't know it, is really one of the keys that allowed me to win. And as far as lie detection, that just I ended up studying more formally body language, and then I ended up training with the military and police in body language, especially for interview and interrogation. And of course, deception is very important in those high stakes situations. Now, I'm not cut out for law enforcement, but I take that information and I bring it into business so that people can really better inform their high stakes leadership decisions. And here's the problem, Sue, is that right now we are all saddled with a huge problem, and that is economic uncertainty. We do not know what is coming our way, and I think that's by design from the top of politics here in the country. And be it right or wrong, good or bad, it is a problem for like as far as policies, it's a problem for all of us trying to run business. And when people's backs are against the wall, they're more apt to stretch the truth or out and out lie. And it doesn't matter if it's hiring, if it's in sales, like if you're understanding what your CFO really means about the financial state of the business, right? So you can make the best decision that you can. Because the problem is that when our decisions aren't as informed as they could be, it can get very, very expensive. That second chance is
Yes, we all know that. We all know that. That's so true. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size of your business.
Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of zeros behind the cases that that I work on, in the cases that a lot of my clients work on. I mean, like in the billions of dollars. And sometimes it's just a simple saving of time, because you know that something just isn't quite right. And so it's not about creating these gotcha moments. It's about making the best decision that you can with the information that you have.
That's
And
so
why
true.
not
That's
use
so
all the
true.
information
I love it.
that's in front of you?
That is great. That is a pure truth here. Coming from a business standpoint, it's the pure truth. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that, because that's the key. That's the key. Now, how did you transition from studying body language to becoming a media personality and a sought after keynote speaker? How did
Oh, well, let's talk about the media first. So, I feel like made it to a really high level in the media, because they kind of step you up. Like they see you one place and they want you another place. So I've filmed several times with Nancy Grace, and that's
one of my favorite programs?
yeah, I was on yesterday, Sue. I was on Nancy Grace
Yeah.
yesterday. So, um, but I didn't know body language was on TV. What happened is we had, because I'm here in Colorado, we had the Aurora shooter at the movie theater years ago. And it's been probably 15 years ago now, 12, 15 years. And I was sitting at home, I was watching TV, and I was looking at this guy's, I think it was, I don't know, where they kind of read you the charges, and he was doing something kind of crazy on the stand, and I knew what it was. And I was just kind of minding my own business, and then my phone started ringing, and it was the news stations, and hey, can you come down? And I was like, sure, yeah, I got a handle on this. And it really went from there, and it just kept going and going and going to local, and then national, and then international. I've done like the what is it, the equivalent of the French Associated Press, and then I did another French TV channel just the other day. So yeah, that part's kind of cool. And as far as keynotes, I'll tell you what that takes is a lot of hustle, and in letting people know that they need you, like creating a case for myself, and a
Right.
lot of marketing, and that's really where people like you come in, Sue, because you help me get the word out to clients who may not think that I'd be someone that's a fit for them.
Right. And that's what we keep doing, and we want to find those arenas that, yeah, can really use your training and your help and have fun in it, because you're a fun person. So
Well,
I mean,
we're
they
gonna
can
have
learn
fun.
and have that high energy as
Mhm.
well. So that's uh key to us too. Now, tell us, Tracy, what are the biggest myths about lie detection that you encounter?
Oh, people think, oh, if people don't look at you, they're lying. If they suddenly look away. No, that's a wives' tale. It might be true for some people, but not for everyone. Not everyone has, it's called, not everyone has a look to talk rule. And so, can you hear that? My windows are getting cleaned. I don't know if you can hear that.
Hey, we
Um,
take you anyway, anywhere. Look, this
yeah.
is real life. We have things scheduled and we have to do it, so
Oh yeah,
keep
yeah.
going.
So
We're good.
anyway, you can think about how clean my windows are.
Yeah.
Um, what were we talking about? We were talking about, oh, the myths
Myth.
about
Myth.
lie detection, and that you got to compare people to themselves. When they look away, some of the studies are saying now they're looking away in shame. And so shame is not necessarily connected to lie detection. It can be, but you need to compare people to themselves, and to themselves only. Now, fortunately, there are trends, right, of how people will behave when deception is at hand. But really, what we're looking for are signs of stress. And so what I'm doing in my talks is pointing out those signs of stress, so you can understand, okay, wait a minute, maybe this person isn't 100% comfortable with what they're saying about what will happen or about what did happen, so that you can dive deeper and bring that truthful conversation to the forefront a lot more quickly.
That's great. That's great, because there are different kinds, and we're all unique people. So we don't all react the same way. So
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that that you're not looking at every person that you see and meet, and focusing on that. So thank you so much that you share that we know that from your science and from your studies and research, you've got, the key factors that will play into giving the truth to people.
Well, yeah, and let's talk about that. So everything I talk about is peer-reviewed science, and it'll stand up in court. And Sue, I'm in the middle of a court case right now, working with a client. And so not only have I studied this in the past, but all the peer-reviewed science is fresh on my mind. so so it'll stand up when now it's not that hard to learn. It is like you got to consistently apply it though. So and I think it's fascinating to.
It is. The science is fascinating. It is. Yeah. Now, what specific business problems in today's world do event planners typically want you to solve when they book you as a speaker? What's typical?
So I work a lot with financial groups in fraud loss, but also to prevent fraud loss. And some of the biggest fraud losses that we've prevented, like the biggest one's 22 million that I know about. Yeah. So, I mean, that'll justify my speaker fee.
Yay.
So a lot of fraud loss, a lot of sales, because buyers are liars, and, they may not be telling you the whole truth about their decision-making process. And that's really important from a time-saving perspective. Like, to be able to fill those needs that they're not telling you about is super important. Hiring is a big one right now because, again, people's backs are against the walls and they may need a job. And actually 40% of people, and this is from a study from the Society of Human Resources Management, 40% of people lie in a material way on their resume or in a job interview, and 2% of HR pros can pick it out, Sue. And so if we can even get you up to 25%, which I think we can, that is huge, because you think you got a problem without someone in a job, you got a problem with the wrong person in that job. So like a bigger problem, because that can cost you a lot of money, whether it's like at a bank where they're coming in to run their scam like they've done at all these other banks, or whether it's just incompetence. So these are the things that you can start to pick out ahead of time. And those are really the biggest ones that I'm called to talk about.
Okay. And the HR factor, they're always talking about turnover.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Retention.
Is someone as happy?
You don't have the right people.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's going to keep happening.
Is someone as happy in their job as they say they are? Like if you're doing a review, can you trust it? I'm not looking for another job. I'm going to be here for years. Can you trust it? So when you can understand what people are hiding, again, it's about bringing that conversation to light so that you can fill their needs if that's what you want to do, or you can start planning. If you're glad that they're on their way out, you can start planning a different path and stay ahead of the curve.
And let me ask you, Traci, how has work and video calls changed the way we can read body language? Because this is what we do a lot.
Oh, we're on video right now, Sue, and it doesn't change a thing. The problem is people, I mean, if they're not turning on their cameras, that's a message right there. And I was in a meeting with a financial planner. I was consulting because he's hit a slump because financial planners, they do plan your finances, but their main job is sales. And a lot of those guys don't really realize that going in. And a lot of these initial meetings, like after they have their steak dinners, they turn up on Zoom or StreamYard, like what we're doing here. And this one meeting, this girl would not turn on her camera. And I'm like, this is she's not in, like, she won't even turn on her camera. Right. And my camera's broken. I don't have a camera. All that is a load of garbage, right? They are telling you their level of commitment right there. The question is, are you paying attention? Right.
Exactly.
So, but body language is the same, whether it's in person or on camera. And guess what? I also do statement analysis. And so that is handy on phone calls, on emails, and on texts. So we can, again, get to the truth and understand someone's level of commitment.
Wow, that's fascinating. That is. Now, can you walk us through the most reliable indicators that someone might be lying? And I'm just putting myself out there. If I'm all, if you want to use me as example, I'm willing.
I think you're telling the truth, though, Sue. Do you want to lie to us for a minute?
Let's see.
Actually, I
That's hard for me to think in that terms, but we all do probably, at some point. But yet again, it's not intentional, and you can tell the difference.
Oh yeah. Well, here's what we want to do. The most reliable. There's two things that'll show stress that we have really almost no control. I mean, 99% of no control over, and that is our forehead. Look for those forehead lines. Now, if someone's had a bunch of Botox, there's a affected area, and you'll be able to see the non-affected area, right?
Well, I hide mine, so because I have a scar there. So
yeah, you got a scar, yeah, and scars play into it. I have a scar right here, and that affects things, right? Like a see, my smile's like a little crooked, right? So you have to take all that into account. But your blink rate is the thing that you can't control. And so watch when people's blink rate either gets really low, okay, and then when it's low, that means you got their attention, right? They could be under threat, or if it goes really high, then they're stressed. So those are a couple of just the easiest ways to tell if people are under stress. And now, why would they be under stress? Well, because they don't like the topic going on. They're more apt to stretch the truth.
Wow. Okay, my blink rate. All right.
Mhm.
And that shows up on.
Oh yeah, it does. Well, if you want a good example of it, go and find some Prince Harry video, and you'll see when he gets stressed, his blink rate goes way high and then becomes very irregular. So that's a good one to look at.
Wow, that's great. Well, I just kind of figured out, on camera when you see people, their context could be, messed up with the lighting. So sometimes that helps.
Nope, not going with it, Sue.
Nope. Okay. Yes, what my little thing is. So remember, out there, that's a myth. Context doesn't matter.
Well, it's consistent. That light doesn't all of a sudden shine and then all of a sudden turn off. So right. They're going to be adjusted to it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, tell us, Traci, how do you help teams sell more by being a sales intelligence trainer?
Oh, right. Well, it's just everything we've talked about. You have to understand people's deep unconscious needs, where they're stressed, and fill both of those. And they're telling you that by their body language, right? So, for instance, when I was working with this financial planner, they flew me down to Dallas, and I sat with him all day in several meetings because he's having trouble. He's a pro. He's one of the top in the game, and this year has been really hard for him to get new business. And one of the clients came in, and his whole deal is that he wants to take over their whole portfolio, which could be millions of dollars. Like, he doesn't just want to get them long-term care insurance, right? And so this one woman comes in, and at this one point in the conversation, she almost started to cry because she wanted help with her finances, and her son, who's a financial guy living across town, would not help her. And it was so emotional. And he did not use that information. Like, he could have reached out his hand. He could have said, you know what? I get that this is super stressful for you, and I'm going to take care of you. Like, he could have said that, but he didn't. And of course, that's what we talked about because that's what she needed to get her over the hump, to know that she had someone who was deeply caring and on her side. And he blew it. And you know what she said at the end? I'm going to think about it, and walked out. Right. And so that's the difference, is getting off your script and responding to the signs that people are telling you right there.
And that's key. That's key because we all face, decisions in our business and in our lives, and we need those people around us that will care and give us the truth, and not lead us into something that we don't need to be in.
Well, you need a trusted team, and that means people are responsive to your needs, and people are telling you their needs all the time. And the question is, are you gonna answer the call?
Right. Thank you. Because so many are good out there. They are. Everybody can be good at this because that's what sales is all about. That's what life's all about, is relationships. It is. It's the key thing. And
well, that's the thing. And down in Dallas, financial advisors are a dime a dozen. And really, they're a dime a dozen everywhere. They're not going to do a whole lot different for you. They're buying a person. And it doesn't matter what industry it is. You sell linoleum or carpet or a car. Like, they're buying the person in that relationship, right?
Exactly.
So maximize it. Just take the time to maximize it. And here's the deal, Sue. It takes a lot of work to get someone to come and sit down in front of you, right? Whether or call you, whether it's from an ad. I mean, that's what we do, is put the word out, right? Why are you going to blow it when you actually get to talk to them?
I know, that's the key. Now we've got a comment here.
We got a comment. All right.
Darcy Keith, I love her.
I love Darcy Keith.
Oh, great to us. Great to see you both. You are my trusted team. Oh, wow.
I love Darcy Keith. Yes.
Made our day. Thank you. Thank you, Darcy. You're wonderful. And we are on your team as well.
All the time.
Oh, wow. That was great. Thanks. Now, you're on all these high profile news channels and cases and everything, all kinds of different situations. How do you prepare for, someone calls you and said, I want you on camera. When? How do you prepare to go on there?
I make sure that they send me the video, and then I do just like I would do an investigation, as I go through frame by frame and say what's going on here. The person who is shows the hardest to be on is Nancy Grace, because she has 6 or 5 other experts on there. You got to fight for your time. You got to have a soundbite that's ready. And what she does, and I don't know if her team knows this, is they send me videos, and then I'm supposed to comment on the videos, and I'm all ready. And then they never use those clips. And so you just start talking and hope that it matches something that is on the screen, because it ain't anything I've seen before. It might be a little bit before, a little bit after the clip that they sent me. So I want to make sure that I'm doing right. And, in this court case that I'm working on right now, Sue, it has been very difficult because I don't have a PhD. I am not a doctor. I am someone who started out as a hypnotist and developed my skills along the way. So all of a sudden, and it's been quite stressful the last couple of weeks. I mean, I would say the most professionally stressful time in my career ever, to make sure that everything that comes out of my mouth is scientifically backed, peer reviewed, and that it is a system that is structured down the line of everything that I do. And I've been doing this 25 years, but to make sure that it rolls off your lips just right in this case, that from my perspective is cut and dry. How can I convince a jury of that, right? That I'm the expert, and that I'm not a hack. I'm actually using law enforcement based systems. So that has been that's been super stressful.
Exactly. And in today's world, that's so needed, because things have gotten kind of, convoluted at times and things, and we need people like you that come and put it in true perspective so that we can understand really what's going on. Because it can get really bizarre.
Yeah, and everybody thinks they're expert, and everybody
thinks they're a speaker.
It's true. So it's about being able to handle those tough times, and so this has been a big career growth time for me, I'd say.
Now, Traci, I want to ask you this. This question's come up, and I said, I'm just going to throw it out there because it's kind of unusual. What question do you wish hosts like me would ask you, but that we never do? What is it that you'd like for us to ask you?
I have never thought about that. You know what? You know what I want to? I want you to be interested, and I want, as far as bureaus, I want you to think outside the box of how I can benefit your clients instead of just putting up 5 names and having and throwing a dart.
Right.
And that is how I would prefer that bureaus behave, to actually
That's the only way I know how to behave.
see the
Now,
value.
I may
Yeah,
have to put up 5 candidates because they may ask for 5, but I'm certainly going to put the uniqueness of each
right.
one.
Yeah,
So they can see
and
the
people,
value that each one brings and why I think they can, take a look at them.
yeah,
I just don't throw out names. I just don't throw out. That's why everyone says you're pretty custom. I said, yeah,
yeah, and
because I think
that's
just
the
like
kind of
here on
client.
our show, I want to be
Mhm,
custom to you. I don't
mhm.
want to just throw out the same questions to everyone.
Well,
Like
you
that.
know,
I want you to feel like you are featured and that you are seen and heard in the right way that you would like to be.
yeah, yeah,
And that's
and
that's the key thing. So thank you for sharing that because, like I said, we never know if we match match the expectations of the guest, but we promote it and we thank you for coming. Certainly. Now, in closing today, can you believe it? I told you this time just flies
it
by.
has gone really fast. I'm
I mean,
looking at
really,
the
it's like,
countdown, like,
okay, here we are. What are you going to do today to be remarkable?
what am I gonna do today to be remarkable? Oh boy.
Besides finish getting your windows cleaned and they're going to be all sparkling.
I
Yeah.
know. They are. Sue, I've had so much remarkableness over the last 10 days with this court case. You know what I'm going to do today to be remarkable is just whatever is the minimum on my list. And that doesn't sound exciting to your clients, but I got to take some mental health time. And so that's what I'm going to do today, Sue.
That's a perfect answer because in our industry, and I'm seeing it in every industry, people are not slowing down to take the time. They just want to think they have to keep going and they feel
Mm-hmm.
guilty if they slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to tell you that's not the truth. that won't get you where you need to go. You need that time to rest. And this is going to segue into who we have next week. But that can help us do that. But thank you for sharing that because we want to be there with you to let you rest, to let you enjoy the weekend coming up. Because yeah, you've had a busy week, 10 days. We all have. And and there was a holiday in between there and
I
everything.
worked on the holidays, Sue.
Right.
That's how
it.
committed
That's
I am. I was on the phone with lawyers.
See, that's it. We all were probably working some during the holiday instead of taking it off like a lot of people. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, we just want to thank you for that. And to our audience out here, we want to know what are you going to do today to be remarkable? Maybe it's a time like Traci. You just need to take a moment, a day, a weekend to rest, to slow down and be able to reflect, rest, and be re energized so you can be the best you can be. And that's key important. So just leave us a comment in the chat here of what you're going to do today. We'd love to hear. Now, thank you so much, Traci, for joining us. We wish for you a remarkable rest of 2025. I'm excited. Hope we get to work together soon and much success in helping people, organizations, leaders, and teams learn how to prevent fraud, find the truth, and increase sales because that's what you do. And we love it. Now, event planners, I just want to tell you out there, don't settle for another forgettable keynote. Just don't. Your audience deserves content that changes how they communicate, negotiate, and succeed. Traci delivers the wow factor that transforms good events into legendary ones. And that's what we're after. At Remarkable, we want to help you have experiences of a lifetime. Create experiences of a lifetime. Book Traci Brown today, and you will watch your event evaluation soar. We can show that. Let me just tell you. And she has limited dates left for 2025. We're already booking in 2026 and beyond. So she books quickly. So we want you to get in on it. Don't wait. Today's the time that we want to make sure. And Darcy tells you to rest up. Lindy says she enjoyed you so much. And certainly, Darcy, we love you too. So we have to do that. We have to do that. So contact us today to book Traci for your next event, or visit our current website to secure your date, or know that we have a new website coming soon. Now, why would you do that, event planners? Because your reputation depends on delivering speakers who deliver results. And that's what we do with Traci and at Remarkable. Now, plan on joining us next Friday, July 18th. Can you believe July is just going, fast? As our featured speaker will be award-winning Dr. Gretchen Moran Marsh, who is on a mission to destigmatize mental health. She wants you to invest in your mental health. She's a clinical psychologist who is an expert on the topic of mental health. She shows leaders and team members techniques that will immediately improve overall mental health and decrease the likelihood of the problems in the future. Specifically, she shows people how to change how they think, behave, and feel, resulting in improved personal and professional life satisfaction. You won't want to miss this conversation. It will help us all. Thanks for joining us today. Now, I love what I get to do. And as our tag says, let's be remarkable together. I would love to work with you. And remember to continue to pray and support those who are recovering from now the devastating effects of the recent Texas and North Carolina floods. We're still in North Carolina recovering from Hurricane Helene. And in California, my office in California is still recovering from the fires. It will be a long-term recovery for a large amount of people. So we can't forget them. Please don't. The news may forget them, but we're going to keep telling you, please don't forget them, because they are part of us. Now, wishing you a happy summer weekend. Want you to stay cool and dry. Look, rain keeps coming. We had 1.5 inches last night and 4 inches the day before, so it keeps coming. But we will see you next week. And thanks again, Traci. You are wonderful and remarkable. And have a great rest today.
Thanks, Sue.